Hello everyone. Today we'll be talking to you about the consumer decision-making process in choosing your Ford Fiesta SE hatch. My name is Charlotte Price, and presenting with me today is Sherry Itanay, Bryce Westwood and Trent Dyer. So first off, your Ford Fiesta SE hatch is a stylish, sporty, 5-door, fuel-efficient, small car, and the base model without any extra features is roughly $16,000. Now you may be wondering, why is it so important to understand consumer behaviour? But it is crucial for a business like Ford to address a forever changing market, and as marketing managers, you must have a thorough understanding of consumers' product preferences so you can constructively create an adequate marketing mix to effectively advertise your product to satisfy consumers' current needs. I'll just run you through the key points we'll be talking about today, mainly talking about the consumer decision-making process itself. I'll be talking about the first step, need recognition, and Sherry will be talking about the second and third step, information search and evaluate alternatives. Trent will be talking to you about the fourth step, purchase decision, and Bryce will be talking to you about post-purchase behaviour. So the reason we're giving this presentation is to show you when preparing your campaign for the Ford Fiesta SE hatch, you need to first determine your target audience and conduct research that helps define the needs of your consumers, how that need arose, what stimuli evoked that need, and how that led your consumers to determine they needed your product over all your competitors. Once you have this knowledge, you'll be able to successfully advertise your product to trigger this need in your consumers' minds. So need recognition refers to the instance where a consumer recognizes an imbalance between their current and desired condition, usually triggered by internal stimuli when a particular need, such as hunger or thirst, rises to a high enough level to become a drive. External stimuli can also create a need. For example, advertisements that consumers hear and see, or discussions with other people can cause them to consider buying a particular product. There are also internal and external factors that will influence consumers' choices and behaviour in deciding on their final product. I'll elaborate on that in a second. So, you need to understand what drives a person to purchase a car in the first place. Due to both internal factors of consumers' perception about how they see themselves or want to see themselves, and social factors around them like celebrities, friends, and their social class, could trigger your consumers to want a car. Cars are seen as a status symbol. They're stylish must-haves to be cool, and a car like your Ford Fiesta sounds like a very fun and stylish car to me. Another reason could be a person's occupation, age, or family situation, which could trigger a consumer to believe a car could fix all the problems. This is an example of changing circumstances. If you've just had a child, moving houses, just got your license, or commuting for work, their current car may not be suitable, or they may not have one at all and looking for an affordable, reliable first car. A consumer's economic situation is also going to play a major role in their purchasing decisions. An example of this could be if they're dissatisfied with their current car due to lack of fuel efficiency and believe a new car can lower these ongoing costs. Now, the last reasons come down to a person's lifestyle. Two big factors why people use cars are convenience and saving travel time. No walking and interchanging, just get in and go.
After the consumer gets information, they need to evaluate the alternatives to see which car will satisfy their needs best. For example, the decision to purchase the Ford Fiesta SE hatch has been compared with an alternate brand, Mazda 3 hatchback, and from your company, the Ford Fiesta ST hatch. In comparison, the ST and Mazda 3 both have alloy wheels and more exterior color, but they are more expensive. In order to choose the SE, your consumer could be on a budget and due to the economic situation not able to afford the superior models. Your consumer will look for a car that is cheaper but have features that meet their needs, where they feel accepted by their peers and family. For example, Is your SE has advanced sound system, Bluetooth wireless data link for hands-free phone, speed manual or auto? Having these questions in mind, your consumer will settle for the most important attribute, and in this case, is the lowest price.
Which brings us to the fourth step in the consumer's decision-making process, the purchase decision. Basically, what this process entails is a culmination of all the buyer's past considerations or influences. Ergo, the buyer has already recognized a stimulus, want, need, or desire. He or she has then conducted an information search, identified market competitors, disregarded inert or inept products, and considered the viable alternative evoked set products, and ultimately has singled out the most desirable product, which is then realized in the way of a physical manifestation, i.e. venturing out to the local dealership and purchasing the preferred vehicle or product. In this case, a brand new Ford Fiesta SE hatch. But what contributory factors, be it cultural, societal, individual/financial, or even perhaps psychological, could ever lead to such a glorious and elated moment? It's also worth noting that this is easily the step where the buyer is at least most vulnerable in the purchase decision-making process, as any number of factors could stand to sway the buyer to re-evaluate his purchase decision, perhaps even triggering them to begin the entire process anew. For example, rising costs of fossil fuel the world over and the constant state of financial uncertainty surrounding the industry's clouded future, fuel prices, fuel economy is most certainly on the forefront of every new car buyer's mind. The societal uncertainty might suddenly act as a psychological trigger, acting as an internal and external stimuli to influence the buyer's decision-making process, and he or she might then begin to question whether or not they can actually afford to constantly refuel a thirsty petrol engine and instead opt for a more fuel-efficient vehicle with lower running costs. Another example, perhaps a buyer's friends, peers, or colleagues, or someone close to them might have offered a negative review or response to the purchase decision choice, expressed their disapproval of the product's quality or performance, or even its brand image. Again, the buyer might be socially triggered to reevaluate their choice. As well as being influenced by peer or societal pressure, the buyer might be equally or perhaps even more so affected by being exposed to a non-marketing controlled industry professional offering a contradictory testimony or review of said product. Again, potentially working to influence the buyer's own individual perception of the product or the brand identity adversely. Perhaps the buyer actually makes it all the way to the local dealership, but then finds a minute fault with the product itself and effectively dissuades them from purchasing the product. It could be anything really, ranging from poor lack of rapport or communication with the attending staff. Maybe the buyer takes said vehicle out for a test drive and find they didn't particularly like the ergonomics of the steering wheel in hand, or they found the seats to be too hard or uncomfortable on the backsides. Basically, the point I'm trying to reinforce here is that during the purchase decision-making process, the buyer is highly impressionable. I hope I made at least that much clear.
I'll be covering step 5 of the consumer decision-making process, post-purchase behaviour. This defines the consumer's expectations and how those expectations are met. This will determine whether the consumer is satisfied or dissatisfied with their purchase. Common post-purchase behaviour with high involvement items such as the Ford Fiesta is the feeling of cognitive dissonance. This is when the consumer recognises inconsistencies between their predictions and their outcomes. For example, the money spent on the small car is more than the consumer is willing to pay. The consumer may stop and think about the financial aspects of this purchase and whether it is a good or bad financial decision due to their economic situation. Dissonance occurs in this instance because consumers know that his or her purchase has both disadvantages and advantages, but they are unaware of the price is worth the outcome. They fit better into society, social class, by purchasing from a trustworthy brand such as Ford. The buyer could also be feeling proud to be purchased such a prestigious car with a long history like the Ford Fiesta. All in all, the buyer could have started the feeling of dissonance, but with the advantages overpowering the disadvantages In this case, the consumer would feel satisfied with the purchase decision.
Conclusions. Our findings is the consumer goes through a very comprehensive and varied processes to arrive at their individual purchase decision. Furthermore, just no two people are the same. There's no guarantee that two individuals will be necessarily influenced by the same stimuli or factors, even though having arrived at the same purchase decision. The influences that sway our purchase decisions come from all aspects of life, ranging from media, societal acquaintances, or input from our friends and family or colleagues, to the wider conventional interpretation of a product's conceived brand identity, as well as internal factors such as the buyer's own individual preferences and external factors. As it stands, your consumer base is very internally consistent or on point with your marketing mix. However, I'm afraid this mix is no longer relevant or reflective of the current market trends. The statistics are showing that the majority of new car buyers in 2015 were actually males, and they favoured mostly mid-sized vehicles. Meaning the longer you choose to focalise your marketing strategies exclusively towards women, the more male buyers you stand to ostracize.
The marketing of the Ford Fiesta SE hatch should work towards advertising the Ford Fiesta base model stronger than the top-of-the-range ST hatch. This would broaden their range of target markets for people who are looking for a more affordable car. The marketing team should also consider pushing the features to the SS to help the consumers identify and understand exactly what they are getting for their money. This will in turn ease disparity. Your marketing team should also consider decluttering the website to a more information-based design, allowing the consumer to easily identify the key features and specifications of the car, thus allowing them to compare it to the other cars in the market. You should also look at directing sales towards men. They were the top purchasers of cars in 2015. This would broaden the range and also improve the Ford's profit margin for the sales of the Ford Fiesta.